Welcome in. Today we are talking about Kyle Gass, and we're talking about him because he said something and it kind of caused a little bit of friction, caused a little bit of conflict, but he was in some hot water for a bit. And let's find out where we might see that within him. Okay, Kyle is a person who understands how to get to the top without sleeping with the boss, you could say. But it seems like he went against who he was as a person and did try to sleep with the boss to get to the top because he used very hot news and tried to make it a joke. And a lot of people took it the wrong way. So he is a person who knows how to take risks and he knows what's worth fighting for. But when he tries something new, there's always going to be a little blip or some crisis in what he does. In order to start something new, there's got to be some friction to birth that new idea or that new thing. He's here to be a person who likes to start things. He knows how to endure, and he is an ambitious being. He can smell liars. He does have an ear for, yeah, he just has an ear. So, however you take that, he is a musician, so that's the only reason why I mentioned that. Maybe he hears things differently compared to others. I'm not sure. But he is a person who, if people recognize his power, he can hold a community together just by that power alone, or just by his graciousness. Or he also will allow a person to talk first before him. Um, but he always needs to be in control. So maybe that's where he had a slip up as well, is that maybe he was trying to prove that he was in control of this new comedy that was happening. Let's talk about some other things. Let's talk about who he is as a person. He's a person who really does have these ideas and these stories to tell. He is this person who um, likes to stimulate people with those ideas. And he's an organizational being. He has lots of opinions, and he will be a wise person when he recognizes that there's all sorts of opinions. And just because his opinion has been formulated, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's correct, because science is disproved regularly to find a new solution. So that's what we're talking about. Just because he has an opinion, it doesn't mean it's correct. So that could be a place where we find some disharmony in what he said that night in the comedy show. He is a person who is here. He has the channel of the beat, a design of being the keeper of the keys. He's the keeper of the keys of a kingdom. What kingdom? This whole universe that is his, and that's unique, and that's nothing like anything else that anybody's ever done. And I love it that it says the beat, because he's once again a musician. He is a person who has this he has this role of self, this behavior of self, and it's going to be pushing him in the proper direction in life. So, what's really important for Kyle is to be patient. If he tries to jump on things, he might regret doing those things that he did in the moment. Um, let's talk about other ways he can see himself being a little bit too feisty in the moment. Well, maybe he feels like he has to prove, but once again, he has nothing to prove, not even to himself. I don't know why I said once again. It's just because I said it in other readings. My bad. Trying to prove what? Trying to prove that he's inspirational, trying to prove that he has these new ideas and he can be the first to them. So, like, that seemed to have bit him in the butt. But once again, he needs to take his time, and if he thinks something's good in the moment and he's still super excited about it, or if he thinks that something's bad in the moment and he's still super frustrated about it, then those aren't good times to make decisions. So it was pretty shortly after that this stuff that he said in his comedy tour that, you know, I'm sure he was still riding the wave of that, and he did it in a place of pure emotion, which he's going to end up getting kicked in the butt afterwards from it. Okay, so there's many different places where if he wasn't acting his true self, then we could see him, you know, get in a little bit of trouble. But let's talk about who is this true person that we see in front of us. Kyle Gass is a person who is here to take their time, to make decisions, be patient, to not make decisions in the heat of the moment of emotion. He is here to create something new. He's here to contribute to the community in a graceful kind of way, but it's going to experience some crisis. But that's all right because he's in control. In control of what? His beat. He's in control of his alertness. And he's also in control of his ambitions and what he can endure. He's a person who knows what risks to take, and he's going to be a fighter for that. And there's some places in his life where he just doesn't hear what people have to say. It's going to take about 6 or 7 times for people to say it to him, for him to actually absorb it and hear it and actually assimilate it in a way that was correct for him to hear it. So there's going to be a lot of melancholy in his life, and maybe melancholy is something that drives him to do something different, but he shouldn't be doing anything different. All he has to do is wait out the melancholic, the melancholic, I can't even think of the word that I want to use, the up or down of that, and let's move forward. They are a person who is here to be both abstract and logical in their thinking. They are able to realize things and formulate things and stimulate their ideas through details and opinions. There's just lots going on in this fella here. Now, he walks around thinking that he is a person who is meant to, let's not go there. That thought just completely screwed me up just a moment ago. So what type of people does he need around in order to be successful? Well, he needs people who are investigators, who really have the grounding beneath their feet before they really externalize to their crew what it is that they've been researching. The type of environment he needs to be in is that of a drama-free environment where people can just be let alone to be able to do the things that they're great at. He is a person who is a hermit. He does enjoy a drama-free environment, so I'm sure this that just seems so unlike friggin' Kyle Gass, drama-free. But he knows his he knows his opportunities are in his network. His brotherhood and sisterhood mean the world to him. And if you cross him, you're never going to be allowed back into the circle again. And he is a person who is just going to be working on what it is that he's great at, and he's going to be called on. And he doesn't want to make the wrong decisions working on the wrong things. So that's why he needs to take his time making sure that what his energy says, or if it's correct for him or if it's not correct for him. Because if he follows what is not correct for him, he's going to lead more into frustration. There's other things that we can talk about, how Kyle Gass may feel that he lacks in the area of being an influence. Maybe he feels like he lacks in finishing things. So those are two things that he might also feel like is wrong in his relationships. All right. That's where we're going to end. We're going to do Jack Black in the future. And then we're going to do a relationship analysis of them together. I just wanted to keep it simple. And then we're going to conjoin them together. All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. And we'll see you Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday for these readings.